Joining us now in-house is our NBA analyst, Tim Legler. Everyone's a little caffeinated this morning, it feels like in here. Look, shockingly, not Kevin Durant, not LeBron James. We're going to talk Kawhi Leonard.
Let's go.
This one hits me in the heart.
Wait, who?
But I know, right? Remember this guy?
Right.
I know, it's been a while since we've seen him. But we had Woj on earlier, and he dropped some knowledge on us because I think the entire world has been assuming that at this point the Spurs were going to have to come in the meeting room with a big PowerPoint and say, this is why we're great, pick us. And it turns out it might be the other way around, that they want to hear from Kawhi why he wants to stay, and he wants to hear a commitment from them. So as far as what that means about the state of this San Antonio Spurs organization, what do you have to say about that?
This is one of the most bizarre situations I've seen in,
you.
10 years in the league, 17 here, so 27 years in the NBA. I don't know that I've seen another situation like this because of the dramatic turn it took. Like Kawhi Leonard, to me, to probably most people, looked like the consummate Spur. You're like, they got the perfect guy when they drafted Kawhi Leonard, and that's what it was. Smooth sailing. He had veteran guys at first that he sort of deferred to, then he became his franchise. And man, did this take a turn overnight, where all of a sudden now you're like questioning his relationship with Greg Popovich, his relationship with his teammates. At some point, clearly his feathers got ruffled while he was hurt, and we're not exactly sure why that happened. Then he disappears from the team. He's not on the bench for the playoffs, which we could do a whole show on that, by the way, because I have a real problem with that now being guys do what they want to do in the playoffs and the teams don't make guys, be there. Kyrie Irving, another guy, not there for a Game 7. But he disappears. He goes back to New York to get rehab, and we know he's not coming back. So I'm still kind of shocked that it got to this point. But I still do hold out a lot of hope that they're going to get this resolved, that ultimately Kawhi Leonard is going to be in San Antonio a long time.
I hope they get it resolved, Legs. I just don't believe that they will. Because of all of the things you just highlighted. And we can't underestimate the fact that Pop might not be on the sideline much longer. I think at this point, if he has to come into a meeting and pitch the Spurs why they should offer him a max contract, that dynamic is already turned around in the NBA. It's a players' league. We don't normally see a player of his caliber having to do that. LeBron, KD, they won't have. What did Bob Myers say about paying KD? He can have whatever he wants. Okay, so for that dynamic to be flipped in this situation shows me that there's a clear disconnect.
Here's what I want to talk about, because this is the really fun part. I like playing all this fantasy GM that basically you can do every single year during the NBA offseason. Right. So put Kawhi and LeBron together on a team pretty much anywhere. Do they become, in your mind, a clear threat to knock off Golden State and win a title?
You got to tell me who else is on the team. I mean, seriously.
All right, so it's Kawhi.
If you just say
and
those
LeBron,
two guys, and
here we go: Kawhi, LeBron, Beetle, Jalen, and Greeny. That's it right there. That's the five. Can we beat Golden
you left
State?
me off the squad. I could do a couple things.
With you, it'd be unfair. That'd be ruining basketball. Seriously, but the Lakers. I'm just making that up. That's one of the teams apparently that is interested in Kawhi from San Antonio. Now, we don't know exactly what they have to trade the Spurs, and Beetle is convinced they wouldn't trade him in the West. But just humor me. If you put LeBron and Kawhi on the Lakers with the basic core of young players they have there, how good is that team?
Clearly a top threat to the Golden State Warriors. But look at LeBron, got his team to the finals. Now, the way it ended, unfortunate in that Game 4. But, two of those games extremely competitive. If they get Game 1, and a lot of things didn't go their way at the end of that game, maybe it ends up being a 6-game series. Who knows? So, and look at the team that he did that with. Now, you put Kawhi Leonard next to him and some role players, a couple of shooters, a couple of defenders, even if you're only 7 or 8 deep, there's no question in my mind, because you're talking about two guys that affect the game in every single dimension that there is, both of them. And Kawhi Leonard, easiest guy in the world to plug in next to anyone because of the way he plays.